Hello everyone, welcome to the Laravel tips and tricks. So today video is about how you can group your routes. So today in this video I will explain this from the Laravel perspective, because this article is posted on the Laravel news, and I'm going to explain everything from this blog, right? So I'm not going to do anything in my text editor, so that's why I will suggest you to some different techniques, how you can group your routes, how to create different type of prefix, and how to structure your routes. So now let's get started. So the very first thing is route resource and API resource. So how to structure the simple resource and API resource. So for example, your routes look like this. You are creating a CRUD operation for the books slash index, books slash create, post, view, and edit, and update and delete, stuff like that, right? So these are all of the operations you want to perform. So what is the shortcut? So shortcut is this: you can create a resource and then just pause this book, so it will create similar like this. So you don't need to write these 6 to 7 lines, right? So this is a shortcut. Okay, one more. So if you are creating API resource, so you know that API not need this create and edit HTML blade, right? So we are going to skip this one. So but if you want to create your controller for the API, so you need to add a flag of API, and then create and edit will be ignored. Okay, and then you can parse this like this: API resource, books, and books controller. So Laravel will understand that this is for API resource. Okay, so then here book slash create, book slash. So for example, you have only two routes, book slash create and books, right? So then you don't need to customly define, but remember that this is your personal preference. So you can do this similar like this, or you can use this as a resource, and then here you apply this only create and store. So this resource will not use other methods like update, delete, and stuff like that, right? Okay, so you can use this resource and ignore other routes. So group to group within a group. So for example, you have a simple group which is auth for checking that user is login or not, and then you have two types of middleware. One is for the users and second is for the administrators. So how you can group this? So first of all, let's group these two routes into the first layer. Why? Because administrator also need the login functionality and user should also log in into the system. That's why we applied this route middleware. We group this with the auth functionality, right? And then here we separated this with the route is admin, and then route middleware is user. So we wrapped into a single auth, and then we separated this is admin and is user. So this is the way how you can structure your routes based on your roles. Okay, and you can define common things here, right? Okay, grouping repeating middleware into the groups. So for example, you have some middlewares which are repeating for every request, like or check role, check user status, check behavior, invoice.status, locale, and stuff like that, right? And you are also doing this same thing for this one, right? So how to there are difficulty to manage these type of multiple roles. Our line is longer, right? So how to avoid this to make this longer? So you need to go to your app/http kernel file, and then you need to add a new middleware here, and in the middleware you need to add an array and define all of your common middleware here: auth, check.role, check.status, locale, and then you don't need to call all of these ones. So you need to just call check user, and it will call these all of the middleware. And how you need to implement this: check user, just check user. And if you have different one, so you can use different one here. But if you don't have any different one, so you can just call this check user, so it will call the repeating one all the middleware. So this is the way you can simplify your routes by defining into the kernel.php file. Okay, that's great. Same name controller, different namespaces. So for example, you are creating a home controller which is exist in the admin and also exist in the users. So how you can do this? So the one way is you can define its like app http full path, and this is for users, right? But this is not good way. We don't need to define this full path here. And another way people are doing this similar thing, like using as at the top, and they are defining this as admin controller and home controller, or admin user user home controller, right? But this is also tricky, not tricky, this is also a way good way, but there is one more amazing way. So you can use this one whatever you like, but I personally like this one. Before this I am using this convention, right? And when I read out this blog, then I'm convinced that this convention is good enough from this one, right? So you need to add the namespace. So namespace is defining for which directory your controller is located. So I added the namespace, and then you need to specify the path for admin and specify the path for user. So this is more clear than above one. So I personally like this, and that's why I decided to shoot full video on it, how to structure your routes. Okay, separate routes file. So for example, you have a lot of routes and you want to perform you want to create a new file, right? So let me check the video size, and okay, it's a little bit going bigger. For example, you have you have multiple routes files, and you have too much routes and you want to add them into the separate file. So now question arises that where we need to register this file for the route. So there are ways. So Laravel is following like this: route middleware, this for web, and this is for the APIs, right? So you can also do this similar, like route middleware, and then specify its path route / admin.php. So it means that you are going to create this into the routes directory, which you can name whatever the file you need to register it here. But one more suggestion: before this I'm doing this same like this one, but now I read out from there, because Taylor Otwell is following similar thing, like he is loading he is specifying the directory here, require directory and auth.php. so it's referencing the routes directory, and in the routes there is a auth.php file. So it's loading all these routes from this auth.php file. So Taylor Otwell is also doing this in the Breeze, so you can check out the Breeze documentation. Okay, Laravel 9 controller. So of course, so there is one more functionality which is added: profile controller. So it means that you are 3 routes using same controller, so you can you can avoid the duplication of these controller. So just define the controller method here, profile controller, and you don't need to specify the controller name. So that's is beauty of this controller method. So I personally like it very much, and this blog is written by Pavillas Corp. This is a YouTube instructor and having 15 years of experience, and I'm big fan of this Pavillas Corp. So thank you so much, Pavillas Corp. And if you like this video, please subscribe the YouTube channel and stay connected for daily videos at 11 AM according to the Pakistan time. So I will meet you in the next one. Bye bye.